Hey everyone! On this episode of the LOWBAT Podcast, our special guest is Darius Samuel of Street United. Street United is a local nonprofit organization which aims to bring the sport of soccer into the spotlight around Hampton Roads. Darius explains where he got the idea to start the organization and what it's like to run a nonprofit. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to us on whatever platform you are listening or viewing from, and comment or rate so you can let us know how we're doing. Let's get to it. Here's our chat with Darius from Street United.
You are now listening to the LOWBAT Podcast,
a weekly show highlighting members of our local creative community and featuring topical conversations with members of the LOWBAT production team. We're your hosts, Casey House
and Fabian Castaneda. Through our own experiences as musicians, visual artists, and business owners, we saw an opportunity to provide a platform for people just like us to deep dive into what it's like to pursue a lifestyle outside of the norm.
Without further ado, welcome to the LOWBAT Podcast.
All right. What up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to LOWBAT Podcast, episode 3.
Episode
Today,
4.
4?
Yeah.
Episode 4. You're right.
Yeah, we got so many episodes now. We just can't keep track.
Yeah, already
It's
can't
crazy.
keep track of them. Today we have Street United represented on today, and we also have Tyler as a return guest.
What's up, people?
Welcome, guys.
How y'all doing?
Doing good. Doing good. I am really sleepy.
Really sleepy.
I don't understand why or how.
Did you work today?
Not at all. That's what kills. That's what has me so confused. I've done literally nothing all day, and I am exhausted.
Man,
Sometimes it'd be like that. Sometimes the worst thing to do is nothing because your body never got going. You feel that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely harder to get going. I feel like I feel like what you're dealing with is what everybody deals with in the morning, but just the entire day. Instead of getting going and then it's like, all right, I'm moving, I'm up. Like you just never got up.
I feel that. I've definitely had a few showers at 5:30 in the afternoon where I'm just like, why am I, what was the point?
That's my life.
What was
now.
the point?
Why
did I try today?
I have my like 3:30 shower. That's because I wake
crazy.
up. I work in my bedroom now, so I wake up and I'm just like, ugh. And I lay there for a little bit, and I'm like, all right, I roll over and I take 2 steps. Now I'm at work, and then by 3:30, that's usually when I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a shower. It's almost like a little break. I'll take a shower, and it's a good right before the end of my shift. I don't know.
I don't know. If I took a shower near the end of my shift like that, like I don't have the luxury of working from home, of course. But if I took a shower at that time, I'd get out of the shower and be like, I don't want to go back to work. I want to like do something else.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, so something I want to get to is Darius here, Street United. For those out there who don't know about Street United, tell us a little about yourself and a little bit about what Street United is.
Okay. Well, Street United is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Our mission is to give kids and adults in underserved communities the opportunity to play soccer. Some people are like, why are you standing up for that? Well, growing up, I was introduced to only 2 sports. That was football, basketball. So my dad told me to play. Hey, you're either going to be football or basketball. It wasn't until I went into high school, I had a good friend named Colin. He introduced me to soccer, and I was like, man, you know what? I'm doing this football thing. I'm not really going to play soccer, man. My parents ain't really down with that. He was like, you know what? Just give it a try. Man, I went out there, had no touch. But, man, when I kicked that ball, I was like, man, this is amazing. Like, this is what you guys do all day? He was like, yeah. So I got into it, man. Little did I know, I scored my first goal playing with that. I'm still lit about that. Still remember it. Everybody was like, what? And
wait, hold on. You scored a goal like the first game you
played?
Bro,
scored a goal first play. I toe bloated and everything.
I probably played 100 games, not scored once.
Oh, man. Tell you, man. Look, I celebrated and everything, and they were like, what? They were kind of angry. Some of the guys on the team were kind of hating.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's all good, though, man. I scored that goal. But other than that, man, I'm just trying to get the influence, like soccer, popular over here because, you know, we're not doing anything like special. You know, soccer is already popular worldwide. What we're trying to do is get it popular in the United States, give it the respect that it needs, and show people the benefits that it can bring, just like football, just like baseball, just like any sport that we play over here in America. So we just want to provide that to the youth that isn't, being represented. Because soccer is played over here, just not played with certain youth that look like me or, look like everybody that makes up the diversity will. So that's pretty much it, what we do.
You say you're not doing anything special. I completely disagree. I think that like everything that you guys are doing is the start of something special because
Thank you, man.
yeah, like people our age, let's say hypothetically we all didn't play soccer, we got into soccer at our age. We're already 10 steps behind.
Yeah.
But if you're getting the youth involved and then they grow up with a love of soccer, that's naturally going to push more people into soccer and more people to want to be a part of what you're doing or do something similar or just soccer having a voice for younger people. I feel like that definitely is really important and really special.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, man. I just want to give people the push. I'm not some people are like, well, you're trying to be like, oh, Moses of the United States with soccer or something. No, man. I'm just trying to give people the push to really dive in and really explore what soccer can be for the United States and, of America.
Yeah. I mean, it's proven that in Europe, like, it's huge. It's really
definitely.
huge, ridiculously huge. And not only is it massive for adults, but for children.
Absolutely.
It's a lifetime. It's a you got people going pro at like 19, 18. Like it's crazy.
It's their career choice.
Yeah.
And it's not like that in America. Everybody's like, go to school, go to college, and then you get to choose your career.
Yeah.
Man, these guys grow out of the womb and they're like, I'm a baller. I'm going to play soccer for my life. Forget that. I'm going to the academy and I'm going to be a superstar soccer player. The youth they don't have that opportunity over here, man. It's pretty much just push and shove over here, man. It's just, I want to get to my spot where I fit in at. But I think they got it pretty locked in overseas of how giving these children an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? If you're a baller, you can come to our academy for free. They'll pay it out. And if you can ball, you can ball. We'll pay for everything. And they give them that opportunity. Over here, they have to pay their way to it. So that's what Street United is ultimately here for. I just want to give the youth the chance who love the sport and can play the sport and develop themselves to where we can give them the same opportunity to play just like overseas.
Yeah, and I think also not only the youth, but the underprivileged and underrepresented youth, also because the finances get involved. And,
yes, man.
And then it's like, I don't have all this extra money and time to, after school, go play soccer with my friends. Like it's I gotta work or I gotta take care of my family or whatever. And yeah, the resources don't exist out there. So you're literally creating the resource.
Yes, man. It becomes like just second nature to people. People automatically know I have my car that I can go drive to right now. If I need to go somewhere, I can go drive. Some kids don't have that.
Yeah.
They don't have the transportation to get there. And, they don't have food. Some kids don't know what they're going to eat next. So, it's just really important to shine the light on those simple issues where people like me right now, I don't currently think about what I'm going to eat next. I can just go into my fridge and eat. But those kids, they're worried about this. This is something that they're focused on. They're just focused on survival. So if we can help these kids focus less on those things, we can give them a better opportunity, a shot to developing themselves. We just want soccer to be a bridgeway to whatever they can build themselves to be.
All right, that's definitely got to be really good for the mental health of these young future athletes, because if they are in troubled situations where they they don't get to do the things that they like to do, having an outlet to just not think about those kinds of things can definitely be beneficial.
Yeah, man.
Positive community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely building a lot. And that's also why when we're similarly, our ideology behind the podcast in general is kind of about giving a voice to people that also may not have a voice in this local area, at least starting off.
Yeah.
We want to branch out further and everything, but that whenever we started creating all right, who would we want to get on? Who do we want to talk to? You were fourth or third on our list. It was all right, this person, we have to get Darius on.
Man,
because awesome. You're the closest connection to somebody doing something that I believe we all admire tremendously. And I have a lot of interest in the business side of it too, which if you're comfortable getting into that, I would love to talk about that in a little bit too. But yeah, you were one of the first people we wanted to get on here.
Thank you, man. It's an honor, man. It's an honor being up here.
So, as you mentioned, you early on, you got into soccer when you weren't quite, really raised to be into soccer, and when you decided to start Street United, you had to have identified, a problem. Like there might have been for a certain situation. Was there something that clicked where you said, I have to start this because it's necessary?
Yeah, man. Personally for me, I felt like soccer in Virginia, I felt like I didn't fit the picture. I didn't fit the bill. When I go in the field house, I love soccer just like everybody else who pays, their money to go in the field house. But when people see me play at the field house, I don't fit in. They're always like, "Oh, would you play football? You belong. Why don't you go play football? Isn't there like a football league?" And I felt like, that disturbed me. After a while, it started to stir, something in me. Like, man, I love the sport just like you, so I want to find a place to belong just like them. So, man, I would take that energy, man, that thought, man, after I scored my 3 goals that night. I would take that thought, man, and I would just, I want to make a safe haven, not only just for the kids, because sometimes people forget about adults and adults' mental health. A lot of kids who grow up into the adults that, still have those problems that they suffered when they were youth. So I just wanted to create a place that these adults who are just like me, who identify just like me, feel like they don't belong in soccer, give them a place where they do belong in soccer's view. Because soccer doesn't have an eye where they discriminate. Soccer is very diverse. It attracts everybody. You can see it around the world, and
Absolutely.
That's why I say,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we've met before. I don't know if you remember. I went to one of your pickup games. That was outside of Lansdowne High School, and
oh man, I remember.
Yeah, and I can absolutely speak for the vast diversity that existed there, and I didn't play. I'm not good enough, honestly.
Man, you can play, man. You can play.
But I was just like, I just wanted to watch. I just got invited. I was like, hey, let's see what happens. And I just went because there's something to do, and absolutely, it was a mixture of ages, a mixture of races, cultures, everything. Like there was also people standing to the side. Some people were filming it, or it was just. It felt like I was at the startup of something that really, I could see the big picture, and that's actually something that I'm interested in with your idea of the big picture. Obviously, this is a growing concept, a growing company, where I'm sure you've set goals and hit a lot of them. Yeah. If you had to say all right, this is my next pinpointed. This is what I'm working towards. What's your next big, all right, this is a next step.
Okay. We've been really thinking about having a facility, man. Getting a location where we can have the adults and the kids come to.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, man. Not only just having a facility, because a lot of places a field house is a facility.
Yeah.
We want to get a bus. This bus would be used for transportation where we can pick up players and people.
Whoa.
Yeah, man. Who don't have the transportation to get there, man.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is a real game changer that a lot of people still don't understand, that the kids don't have transportation to those areas, man. You look for your soccer fields, you look for the field house, for instance. The location tells you everything about where soccer belongs.
Mm-hmm.
And I can walk out my neighborhood and I can go find a basketball court. My parents, they live out in Chimney Hill. Shout out to anybody who grew up in Chimney Hill with me. You can walk out and there's a basketball court there. But for me to find a soccer field, I had to literally go all the way to Lansdowne just to play soccer. So that's the general idea. I want to get to the people, bring the sport to the communities. And that's the big drive for us.
Wow.
Instead of just coming to us.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Just making it more accessible.
Yeah,
that's an important thing because, things are becoming more accessible. If you think about just how things are nowadays, you get food delivered to you nowadays, whatever you want, and it's just because, there's a need for it, and you obviously saw that there is a need for the sport of soccer to be just more in front of people, and that's really, really cool.
Amen.
So I did have a question. When you're organizing your events, like I've never been to one of your events. Sounds really cool. Probably gonna go to your next one.
Oh, awesome. Man.
Whenever that may be. But like, how is it? How do you try to map it out? And what does a typical day at one of your events look like for people that may have never heard of it?
Bria probably knows, but I told him that the main thing that is the secret ingredient to Street United is the music. We like to get people to feel comfortable. If the vibe, if the atmosphere, when they walk into, if they don't feel, they hear that music, they don't feel like it in their chest, like, wow, this is Street United, then we didn't do our job. So that is one of the main things that we want. We want the music pumping. We want it in your face. Not only that, we want people to smile, to let them know that you guys are welcome here. We don't care about any skill range where you're at, because everybody has started off as a beginner in any sport. Doesn't matter who you are. Messi once was a beginner, even though everybody says he's God-like. He once started out just touching a ball when he was a baby. So we just want to give those people that chance to, come on in, be inviting, say hello. For instance, if you guys come out to the rave on Monday nights, shout out to anybody who wants to come out, 7 p.m., 7 to 9. You walk in, we'll sign you up. We'll tell you, all right, you can join any team. If you have a team, like if you walked in with players that you want to play with, you're welcome to play with them on a team. But we introduce people that, hey, you know what, we're going to mix up the teams a little bit so you guys can get to know other people around, so you can be around different skill levels so you can learn. Some people, they dismiss a lot of players who are new to the sport because they don't particularly know how to play. But we like to give them to our experienced players, our Street United team, and we teach them how to play the game of soccer while they're there. We laugh, we joke with them, and that gets them more comfortable with our events.
Okay. That speaking on two of those parts, I completely agree with the vibe that existed at the one event that I did go to. Like I said, it didn't feel like because I was off to the side with like a lot of the girlfriends for the most part. It didn't feel like I was like almost like moms with their kids playing and they're just sitting there like, oh, my kid's playing soccer or whatever. They were involved too. Everybody was involved. There was a lot of trading off. Some people would step out for a couple of minutes and then they would swap with other people, and it was just constant. Like you could feel the like you said, the good vibes, like that absolutely existed there.
Yeah, man.
I forget what the other point that I wanted to make was. It'll come back to me at some point. I did want to actually ask that first goal that you scored.
Yeah, man.
How old were you?
How old was I?
Yeah,
I was 16.
You went all the way to 16 without ever getting a chance to play soccer.
16.
Wow. And now you're this involved.
Now.
Ooh, that's crazy.
I grew up playing soccer. Never got very good at it, but I never understood it either. So I played when I was from 4 to 6 or 7. So it was obviously like little kids or whatever.
That is prime star athlete.
Oh yeah, I was working towards it. I was friends with somebody who was really coming up in soccer at at the same age, but he was like a child prodigy or whatever back then. And so my mom was like, "Oh, we'll get you into soccer too, or whatever." I was too young. I don't remember. But anyways, I remember they would. So our coach would right before the game would be like, "All right, you're gonna play center. You're gonna play defender. You're you're gonna be left back, whatever." And I didn't know any of what that meant. He would tell me, and I would just go on the field, and I would never play the role I was supposed to. Man. I got most comfortable playing defender because I was a chubby kid. And running constantly was too much. So I was like, I'm going to sit back here and wait. And then whenever they get close, I'm going to sprint. And then I'm going to chill again. And then from that point on, defender. That's all I've ever bothered to play. I remember my point now. The involvement that you were talking about. Yes. Mixing people up.
Yes.
I played at the field house for a little bit. And I don't want this to come across like I'm talking bad about the field house. I think what they're providing is also fantastic. But
absolutely.
One of the issues that I've experienced is their ranking system seemingly it's not vetted very well. So you can have somebody who is like a team of people that belong in the highest rank playing at the lowest rank just cuz. Yeah. And then you're a team of all new people who are trying to learn soccer, and your friends, it's just a group of friends, and some are pretty good, some are not. And so obviously you're not going to be that good of a team, but you're building a team, and it gets for me, part of like I stopped because I was like, I feel like I'm bringing down the team because I'm not that good and I'm out of shape or whatever, and so I wasn't able to keep up, and so I felt like I was a sub that was pulling away from the team, and so I dropped out. But most of that came from the fact that we would play these games against teams that would score like 13-0 against us or something, and it's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Y'all are all people who've been playing since you were kids. You're in college now. You're all fit college bros that have been playing for 15 years. And we're like this bottom-ranked team.
Yeah.
So having that idea of mixing it up, I think, is honestly kind of genius. Like it's so simple, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, man. It keeps away, I think everybody's a witness for it, man. It keeps away the toxicity that sometimes it's in soccer. It's in the sport that we love. Somebody doesn't get the pass they want, the ball they want. They're like, they're gonna say, what they say. But mixing it up, getting people, uncomfortable to be comfortable, really gets them to get to that good vibe of, hey, you know what, this is different. Let me just see how this person plays. How it puts them in a different perspective of the sport. They're so comfortable being with their friends and getting the ball that they want, that putting them in a different, scenario, like, man, how can we achieve this goal with different people? Really puts people in that, that different perspective, that Street United perspective that we want them to be.
Definitely. Like just having that, like you said, being uncomfortable to get comfortable, that is a team goal. It really unifies everyone to make sure that everyone is having fun and reaching the same goal. And that takes a lot more work than showing up with all your friends that you've played for years with and you know exactly how to play with them. So that's a pretty cool concept you have going.
Amen.
Tyler, did you ever play with any of the Fieldhouse teams or anything?
No. They tried to get me to play for like years, and I just never had time from work, and also I didn't want to be bad for something that people paid for and was like really serious for a lot of people.
Yeah,
I'm glad you bring that up because I also think the price thing is a huge, like, people feel like they're like, I agree. I don't want to be wasting people's money.
Yeah,
or wasting your own money. Like how many times?
Yeah,
like you pay for a season and it's not fun because you are matched up against someone that's, like I'm a new soccer player. I started playing 3 years ago at the Fieldhouse with all my friends.
He's gotten a lot better too.
Real quick, I feel like we need to we all know what the Fieldhouse is because we are from here, but literally no one else that listens to this is like, what's the Fieldhouse?
Yeah, the Virginia Beach Fieldhouse. Yeah, it's an indoor sports
place,
facility. So.
Right?
It's the place.
That's if you're gonna play soccer, like that's it.
That's the hub.
There's a couple other I forget what they're called, but those are like for experienced players.
Yeah.
The Fieldhouse is the closest thing to like a community soccer field.
Yeah,
but it's indoor, which I love. Having the walls. Oh man, I hate chasing the ball.
The walls changed the game considerably, though.
Yeah,
like it makes it really cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's way more tactical, I think.
Yeah,
I love it personally.
it's like a hockey soccer.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it's like when you're on fast breaks, you only got to run that far versus the entire size of a like soccer field. Like, whew, I've never played outdoor in my life, and I don't think I ever will because that's a long run.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's that's all that I did play way back when. But again, I was a kid. But even just like, there's so many times I've gone with like friends to go, just like we got a soccer ball, we're gonna go to this field. It was kind of speaking to your point on like finding a soccer field.
Yeah.
They were rarely soccer fields. They were just a field. It's just there's grass. It's cut, sort of.
Yeah.
We can kick a ball here, and we'll say that's the goal, sort of.
Right.
Yeah.
Like but like basketball, from where we are currently, I think within a mile there's 4 different facilities.
Yeah.
Granted, some are schools, but like even in like one of the neighborhoods nearby, there's a facility for just a court for basketball.
Now, I did want to bring up something like the accessibility is something that you're trying to hit on here in Virginia Beach, like this area. But like, if you hear stories all around the world, everyone's talking about how soccer in other countries, the reason so many people play it is because all you need is a ball, as Casey was just mentioning.
Yep.
Like, why do you think that's not the case here in the U.S., where people feel the need to have
Interesting,
like a whole organization to work with?
It's not the culture, man.
Yeah.
Like the American culture doesn't back soccer, and that's a little bit of the problem. Soccer is accepted worldwide, and that's why it's easy for, say, your local kid in an African town that can have a miraculous story where he plays for Liverpool now. Shout out to Sadio Mane.
Oh boy, let's go.
But in America, that's unheard of. We praise a Christian Pulisic. If everybody knows, he plays for Chelsea.
My man, White Chocolate. Let's go.
He had to leave America just to get to where he needed to go.
Oh yeah.
So the point being is that it doesn't just take a ball. It takes a ball, takes a field, it takes a person to watch the field. It takes a person to say that, hey, you can play here. Because, of course, there's fields everywhere. Oh, my gosh.
Kicked out of so many places.
Kicked out, right?
All the time.
Man, you see a nice field, you have a ball, you're like, oh, I'm ready to play. There's nobody here. Nobody's going to be here today. Nobody's going to be here tomorrow. But I can't play on the field. Why is that? It's because it's owned by this company. Everything around here in Virginia Beach, every inch of land is owned by some company.
Oh yeah,
they're going to tell you that you're trespassing. It isn't until you have to pay some sort of fee that you can play here, and that's the problem. That's the thing for these kids. They're being boxed into their houses now. When I was younger, I used to be able to go outside and play like that. You hardly don't see kids go outside. It's not safe anymore either. Yeah. So it's just a totally different culture that is built for, I believe, outside of the states, that soccer is acceptable to play on the street. You can play it anywhere. Mm-hmm. You can pick up. Somebody's going to be like, hey, yeah, I'll play soccer with you. The whole community gets in on it. Here, no one's really going to play soccer. They're going to be like, oh, he's just dribbling a soccer ball. Mm-hmm. But if I have a football, you're going to be like, hey, throw me a catch. Somebody randomly going to be, hey, throw me the ball. Yeah. Or if you have a basketball, hey, let me get a shot in. Let me get one shot.
It's so much more I do not have hands. It is so stressful. Somebody throws me a ball, I'm like, oh my God.
Yep.
Especially if it's in front
I'm
of
about
other
to
people.
Embarrass myself right now.
Man, one of my worst memories is I was like a junior in high school, I think. We played kickball in the gym. Ball went up, and I used to stand behind this dude, Izzy. Shout out Izzy. Sifa Lienda, I think is how you pronounce his rap name. Anyways, I used to stand behind him all the time because he could catch.
Yeah.
I couldn't. So I'd be like, all right, ball comes over here, he's going to catch it. One time, he didn't. I don't remember why. I think he walked away or something. Ball was coming right for me, and I was like, I can't not try.
Right?
Tried, hit me, bounced out of my hands. Everybody was like, oh, and they got started making fun of me or whatever. Oh, man, nightmare. Soccer ball, though, you miss a kick, it's like, yeah, it's your feet.
It's your feet. You don't use those every day.
It's less natural, I guess. I don't know. People expect less. I don't know what it is. I'm not as embarrassed if I completely miss, sure, but if I just get a bad kick or whatever, I don't know, not as embarrassing.
Just not as embarrassing. Yeah, man. It's just like that, man. And I think you said Cypher?
Yeah,
Cypher?
Cypher.
Yeah, I know him, man. I know him. I went to school with him, too.
Really? You went to Lansdowne?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what year?
Absolutely. 2012. Oh, I graduated 2012.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did I.
Oh, see, that's what's up, man.
I was quite to myself in high school, so it's not like I ignored him. All right.
Yeah, Cypher was in my he was in my grade.
Oh, that's what's up.
And I knew him for years. I haven't seen him since. It's been a while, but
he's doing rap things.
Yeah, he's out there. I follow his Instagram, and I ran into him when I was getting a haircut a couple years ago. And he was like, "Yeah, dude, I got this thing go." I forget what he told me, but it was enough that I think he said he had a song that had like 800,000 streams or something. I was like, "All right, dude, cool. Like, hell yeah, you're doing stuff."
Yeah. I saw him meet with Meg Thee Stallion and stuff like that. I was like, oh,
whoa, wait, did he really?
Yeah, man, the real Stallion, man. It's a picture with him with the real Stallion.
All right,
okay.
Virginia Beach coming up, dog.
It should.
We got rappers in soccer now, bro.
Yeah, not only is he a rapper, he's also a dancer and a good dancer.
Yeah. That's sick.
Yeah, he's so outgoing too. I miss him. But something I wanted to ask about too, because we were talking about how not only is it not safe in general to be out as much, but obviously COVID as well. With what you're doing, do you think more people are going to come out once this calms down? Do you think it's going to have a negative or a positive impact? What do you kind of thinking might happen?
I'm shooting for the positive, man. I think the fact that we could even do this in a time of a pandemic, that people can even trust us with their kids. If you guys know, we did grassroots clinics. It started out with 3 kids, and then we went all the way up to having 10 kids. Now, that's the limit that we're able to have.
That is cool.
It just shows that, when we get out of this pandemic thing, I feel like it is going to blow up. people are going to look at our message and be like, hey, you know, this is something that we can get behind. I just feel like, you know, we have a more important mission, a more important goal, and that's getting this pandemic, this COVID thing under wraps.
Yeah, get it behind us, definitely.
Getting everybody vaccinated, and, you know.
One thing I wanted to, I've been wondering about is, I know you guys mainly do things in like Virginia Beach. For those that don't know, Hampton Roads is 7 cities.
Yeah.
So have you thought about like stretching things out to Portsmouth or Newport News, Norfolk?
Absolutely, man. Sorry that I haven't shared that with y'all. We have worked with Norfolk. We work with a nonprofit organization, Teens with a Purpose. Shout out to them too. You know, we work with the teens out there. We get them playing soccer and stuff like that when they're done doing their TikTok thingy. We get them out there playing soccer. But yes, we do have goals of stretching the Hampton Roads area. We just want to be able to provide all kids, you know, throughout the Hampton Roads, you know, ability to go play soccer.
Yeah, definitely. At this rate, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
With having, you know, it already shows that it's growing with your having 10 kids now. Like that, you're at the limit. That's crazy. How do you guys work around, you know, social distancing, things like that? Obviously, soccer you can take up a lot of space, but working with kids, obviously, it's gonna be a little bit tougher.
Absolutely.
So how does that work for you?
Oh, you know, man, it's just following the guidelines. The guidelines change every day. But it's just working with those guidelines and, you know, making sure everybody has their mask on, making sure everybody stays a safe distance. Luckily, soccer is played with their feet, so it's really easy. It's really, you know, easy to clean the balls after they're done. Make sure that they're in their space and we're passing the ball at a distance. I feel like other sports have a disadvantage with that, like using like football, basketball, because it's one ball. But with soccer, you know, everybody can have their own ball and kind of practice, you know, from a distance, you know, passing the ball. Basketball, you got to use your hands. Football, you got to use your hands.
Definitely.
But, you know, with soccer, it's feet. So
I know one
pretty
thing.
much good.
You said they have to have their masks on the entire time?
Yeah, for most of it, unless they're, you know, a safe distance away.
Oh,
you know,
man.
if they're 6 feet
Those kids
away.
are gonna have wind. They're gonna have lungs when they get to play.
Absolutely.
They are never going to be tired ever again.
Yeah, I can run like 13 miles now. Like, no problem. I'm just running.
That's how they're doing in the schools, man. That's how they got them in the schools. Kids are doing PE with their mask on. So it's a new thing.
Yeah, that's school's a whole other aspect of this that's been so interesting to me. I know whenever some people were staying home, whenever the schools were shut down, my friend's nephew, he's in elementary school, I think like 5th grade or something, and he called my friend who just to talk to him. It's his uncle, so he was just like, "Hey, like, what's up?" or whatever. And they started talking about school, and he was like, "Yeah, I had PE today," and he was like, "How does that work with you staying home?" And he said he basically has like 2 hours where he just has to go outside and just be active. And I was like, that's so sad. Like that bums me out, because it's like he's not getting the interaction with other people, which is another aspect of this that I feel like people are potentially getting provided now. Also, like even after COVID is gone and like you can have more people around, that's like, I feel like that's such a important part of what you're creating is the community aspect, the safe, happy, friendly community aspect.
Amen.
Especially because I've been around like basketball and football and soccer and everything, and I definitely personally, my experience has been that the like vibe around soccer is always a lot more friendly. I don't know if it's because it's less like people aren't viewing it as like this is gonna be my life. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Which they should view it as potentially their life. I wish that was an opportunity, but I don't know. I definitely feel like
I mean, I think part of that is because like basketball and football are so like every day you watch the NFL, or every year you watch the NFL or NBA draft, and it's like this kid from like some random town no one has ever heard from in the middle of America is now like a 1st round draft pick for, I don't know, the Patriots or like the Miami Heat or something. Like that just happens every day.
Amen.
And does like the MLS like have a draft? Like I don't know. I've never.
Yeah,
like,
I honestly don't really know what exists out there.
Yeah,
in the
I
US.
don't know how soccer works in America.
It's crazy. Like, I know Darius
You know what
can.
I mean?
I know Darius can like probably explain this a lot better than me. But like, I probably follow sports the most out of the LOWBAT.
Definitely more than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like I can tell you exactly how baseball, basketball, and football work when it comes to, development and getting it into a position to be drafted and things like that. Soccer, all I know is it's not as good as around the world.
Yeah,
It's just the opportunities aren't there. I mean, how does it differ in the U.S.?
Paid academies. You gotta
Really?
pay
Just straight up.
paid academies. You get good enough to get some time. In high school, get good enough. You get to college. After you go to college, you go to a paid academy.
Paid meaning they're paying, not
No.
they're getting paid.
No, meaning that you have to pay
Oh,
Yeah.
your way
Okay.
into soccer. Yep.
That's that alone
US
is
culture.
so crazy to me
Yeah.
because that player now is 22
Yep.
before getting to an academy.
Yeah,
Where
just to get started. Like really,
Just to get started.
just to get started.
Just to get started. And to not make it. Like the chance
Right.
of not
That's-
making it.
And
puts
lose
you so
money.
far
You're
behind.
paying for it.
Money you're paying.
that doesn't make any sense to me, man.
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me because I know the country that I live in, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and the culture surrounding it.
So is this the declaration of a Street United Academy coming in like 10 years?
People got to pay to get in.
We'll
No.
talk about that.
No.
We'll talk about that later. It's
Yeah.
in the works.
So, speaking of, obviously the facility is the next big step, which I, from an outsider's perspective, think that makes perfect sense,
Yeah, man.
especially because of how hard we've talked about how hard it is to find places to play. If you were to say, however many years down the road, whenever you decide to step away from Street United, retire, is there something in your mind that you picture that you want to leave it as, whether it's a local league, whether it's worldwide? Like, how big are you envisioning this thing? What's kind of the end goal?
To be honest, man, I told the people that are currently helping me now, for me to know that Street United is successful, is for us to go out of business.
Okay, go ahead.
For me to know that soccer is accessible everywhere, Street United wouldn't be needed anymore. It would be with everyone around in America. Soccer would be available. And
Wow, that's a good answer.
Whoa. Just blew Casey's mind.
Man, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, man. A lot of people think I'm in it for. Some people are like, "Oh, you're just in it for the opportunity." No, man. Like, I found this as my purpose. Like, how great would it be that I can help the next American Messi, get to his goal because I started Street United and said I want to help him. And I feel that right there is validation for me, man.
Yeah.
Purpose in my life. So that's what I want to do. So that's how I know it'd be successful.
It sounds like you've gotten a lot of pushback from people, which makes no sense.
Yeah, man. That's it.
I don't like. Why would anybody? That culture goes with like. So we're both musicians,
Yeah.
and we've kind of not really. Neither of us are huge musicians or anything, or had anything that big. But we see in the culture a lot money grab, like
Yeah.
people saying you're just trying to make, and it's like, why is that frowned upon? A money grab, sure, but if it should be a living.
Yeah.
So anybody that's like, oh, you're in it for the opportunity, you should also be provided an opportunity for creating this. Not like, I don't know, that kind of like idea has always bothered me. It goes with creators, YouTube, artists, anything that you can imagine that isn't just like a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, you're in it for the money. It's like, so what? Like, yeah, I'm trying to make money, but look at what I'm doing with that money.
Exactly.
Like, I'm creating something that's going to last, that's going to be good for the culture of the country in general. Like, yeah, that bothers me. That's crazy. You've run into so much pushback.
Yeah, man. It's the whole he's American. He's an American guy trying to do this thing with soccer. Who does he think he is? So that's the kind of ordeal that I'm dealing with. I run into a lot of people that feel like it's fake. Like maybe my love for soccer is fake, but that's actually what Street United's combating. I'm trying to get people to feel like they can get into soccer. And I feel like, shout out to like the Premier League, because I feel like they're really trying to get America involved into soccer, at least like with their how they're trying to broadcast the channel, even though it can be a little money grab, the little peacock thing.
Yeah.
But still, it's the attempt, how they're trying to at least get the American culture into soccer and get it caught up. But it will always be a problem if people feel like they're better than these, other people who aren't playing soccer.
I just have one quick thing. So when you say that, that this is it's fake because he's American, I don't mean to assume, but it does sound like that this comes from someone that isn't from the U.S. So that means
Absolutely.
Are you talking to like organizations outside of the country as well?
It's not. It's not the organizations outside the country, man. Actually, I get a lot of support from South American, from Brazil. Like, I got a lot of support from players from Brazil,
That's
your
cool.
street ballers. They're all like, yo, this is great that you're doing this. It's actually people here in America that is looking at this and is like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this for the people? And I'm like, man, for someone to be, so privileged to not see the issue that there's a lot of people who cannot get involved in the sport or do not even want to play the sport. They have the passion to play it, but don't want to play it because of the community that is surround in soccer, to where they outcast these people. Oh, you didn't play soccer when you were younger? Nope, we don't want to play with you. That's just how it is, man.
Yeah, I think it ties into like that privilege. It ties into a lot of they don't see the opportunity. They grow up surrounded by privilege, and so the only thing that they view potentially is what's the opportunity for money, and soccer in the U.S. really isn't it in most cases. So, but they see like their parents working these 9-to-5s typically or whatever, slaving away for a company, and they're like, that's my life. I go to college and then work as whatever, and it's sad to see the disconnect for sure. That's actually something we were talking about right before you got here. Was like, imagine if just hypothetically money wasn't that much of an issue, and then people had more, instead of working 9 to 5, people had more time to. I think a lot of inventions, a lot of art, a lot of just like human creations don't exist because the person who may have had the opportunity or the potential to create it didn't have the opportunity to. They were spending all their time working. They were tired. They didn't have the money, whatever. And that's obviously in the form of soccer, again, is kind of what it seems like Street United can provide.
Yeah, man. I had a lot of time during lockdown when schools was out where I could really help Street United get to the point that it was at. I found myself again, like you said, working a 9 to 5, just saying that, hey, I'm just going to work this job. This is what it's going to be. It wasn't until I quit my job where I was like, man, I'm done with this, where I actually started to think like, hey, I can make a business for myself. And, it wasn't until my experiences with soccer to where I was like, hey, maybe I can make a soccer business, maybe for guys like me. And when I had that time during lockdown, being a PE teacher, doing virtual learning, I only had like 3 classes during the day. It was a lot more time that I had on my hand. And I was like, wow, what am I going to do with all this time? And then it came to me. I was like, why don't I write up the business plan for Street United? At the time, it wasn't even Street United. It was like some ad. I don't even remember the name. Bria, do you remember the name? I forgot what we came up with. And I just remember drawing the logo for Street United. It was just some random soccer ball with some little cities and stuff. And I was like, this is going to be big. Let me put some more time in this. And here we are, Street United.
So dope.
Nice.
So getting into the business side of things, I'm very interested about your early first steps of, all right, this is an idea. It's a community-based idea, but how does it bridge the gap to business, actually involving investors, outside companies, whatever is needed? So those first steps, walk me through like, all right, I'm gonna take action now to make this a real business.
Right. I really got all my steps from experiences working with like childcare like businesses.
Mhm.
So I work for YMCA, which is a nonprofit.
Didn't know they were a nonprofit.
Yeah. Well, I work for your YMCA. I work with the city. It's called OST, which is out of school time program. So I got the chance to be in a manager position and see how it works and how, it functions. So when I went with Street United, I kind of knew all the steps of, hey, this is what I need to do. I knew that, I need to hit up the IRS and do a application for, non-exempt so that we don't get taxed for the things we do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing for us, that everything that we do is not taxed because, we're doing it for the community. It's a service. So once I got that application done, it was kind of like an open door for me. When businesses see that you're serious about a nonprofit, like you filled out the application and you sent that in and the IRS give you approval, they're kind of like, hey, we're willing to work with you. That's why it was so easy to get in contact with like your Boys and Girls Club and, how we got the thing with them, your Teens with a Purpose, because they see that you're actually serious. So it's just getting down to doing the actual paperwork. The application's long,
I'm sure.
It's pretty lengthy, to go through and type out everything. But, with the internet, man, everything is accessible to everybody now with the internet. That's one thing that's really good, that you can look up on the internet how to start a nonprofit, and they got it for you. 1, 2, 3, what to do. And you just fill out the application and you go, man.
So those first couple companies did you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you?
Oh, absolutely, man. I did like a mass, like,
hey, called everybody?
My name is
emailed
Darius,
everybody? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. So I just literally, that's another thing, man. I think that's the step to, anybody who's aspiring to be a business owner is to step out on faith. Send that message. Send that, hey, I have a business idea. I need help. Because a lot of people are going to look at the message and be like, he or she is not serious. They're not serious about this. But you're going to get that one person who sees your message and is serious, and they're going to help you out. That helped me out in my favor too.
So is there a give and take with those, or is it simply like almost like a grant or a? I'm sure there's a better word for it, but like what I mean by that is, let's say Boys and Girls Club is like, we're going to help you out, we're going to sponsor this event or something. Is there an agreement of like, cool, so we're going to put your name here, we're going to talk about you this much?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
It's sometimes it can be a contract. Sometimes it can just be a verbal agreement. Like, hey, you know what? We're going to put Street United on our webpage, if you do a clinic. And you're like, cool. And then you just put it on your webpage. And then sometimes there's an agreement, kind of like we did a fundraiser at Wasserhun, where they actually wrote out like, hey, you know what? You sign this and you get this check for the fundraiser that we're having. And we're going to advertise Street United on our Instagram page. So there's more things that are like that. Some are just verbal agreements. It depends on the company or organization you're working with.
Yeah, I'm sure it depends on the size too. A lot of them, like smaller companies, are just like, nah, it's cool. We'll just like, we agree. But then big companies are like,
Yep.
no, we have contracts.
Paperwork.
We have a department for that.
Yep.
Okay.
So I have a question for you. Just about the idea of stepping out on faith.
Yeah.
So like, how long from that mass email, like blast of just emailing nonprofits and other companies to work with, around how long did it take for you to start getting momentum?
3 months.
3 months.
Okay.
Wow, that's a lot of anticipation.
3 months, man. I think the biggest thing that these companies or businesses want to see is that you're serious. Because anybody can have the passion for a week and be like, I want to do this. And, I'm sure we met those people. They're like, hey, I'm going to do this for a week. And then the next week they're like, nah, I kind of mellowed out. They want to see that you're actually serious. So even when I sent my message out to your Boys and Girls Club, I didn't stop there. I didn't say, hey, I'm going to wait for their answer. I kept on doing what I can do. And I kept on doing the missions that, anything that I can reach. And then that third month, they were like, hey, this seems serious. You seem like you have a good head on your shoulders. We'll take you. We'll give you that chance, the opportunity to, bring your service to our kids.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question, but specifically somebody like Boys and Girls Club. So it's almost like, instead of it being like just a sponsorship of an event, it's like, no, we're going to work together. Our kids that have interest in soccer potentially are going to get involved in Street United.
Absolutely, man.
Okay, yeah, that seems like a no-brainer type of partnership.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Okay. So, and as far as the facility goes, how far away do you think you are from actually having a real place? Big question, but
yeah, and see, these things are kind of difficult because I would say a facility is realistically obtainable in a 10-year frame.
Sure.
In a 10-year frame of us having our own facility. But dealing with grants, like I said, we're a 501c3. That means that we can now tap into government grants. That's the government funding. If you land one of those bad boys, I mean, you can get yourself 2 facilities.
Oh,
Right,
sure.
right.
You know, if they believe in your mission, you know, it's all about having that grant writer, and making sure that they they write it well and see if they get it, man. It's a
Okay, so
draw.
they are pitching you to these grants.
Yeah,
And you just got hope to be accepted.
yeah, man.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man. It's just like selling a dream to somebody. If you can sell a dream to someone, like Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street, you can sell a dream to someone, you can get a whole thing behind you.
Just watched that movie for the first time.
Really?
I don't remember. I don't remember how long ago it was. Last month maybe. Woo,
Yeah.
phenomenal movie.
Wow.
So good, such a good movie. Anyways, such a good movie. I was genuinely blown away by it. And not because it the concept of it or anything. It entertained me the entire time, which I struggle with movies.
Isn't it like a longer movie?
It's
too?
just
like
long
3 hours.
too. Yeah.
I never got bored. The entire movie, I never got bored at any point.
Okay, so you're talking about tapping into like government grants. The thing is I don't think they know this, but you already had a whole tournament like planned, like sponsored by the city of Virginia Beach and like a couple of other organizations. I don't remember. Like you've already done all of this.
Yeah.
So like, who do you like contact at the city to be like, hey, I want to run this tournament. Can you pay for it? Like, you might like,
Getting
hey, you got
straight down to the real question.
You got a couple dollars for me?
Hey, how are you paying for this? Credit or debit?
A lot of things is just from experiences, man. Like I work with the city. So, when I told you I work with OST, I work with the rec center. So I knew the right people to go with. And that's like one of the big things is who you know. I know everybody says like, oh, in business, you know who you know. It's serious.
It
who
really
you know
is. It absolutely
Yeah,
is. Unfortunately, but
Exactly.
it's just the way it works right now.
Exactly. So I emailed the right people, sent that email, say, hey, this is what I got going. This is who I'm supporting. They said, wow, this is great. We got you. Just like that. It's as easy as
that
it is.
simple.
But like it all starts with the fact that you have a really, really good program that makes so much sense.
Absolutely,
Like
man.
just being like, this is for the people that don't have the opportunity, and I want to provide an opportunity. Like, how do you say no to that?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it'd be pretty messed up.
Yeah. Coming from the rec center. Right?
Yeah, it's like, hey, look at this incredible thing, and they're just like, nah. Like, are you sure? Because I post, you guys said no, and you're gonna get some bad publicity. Like,
So like when this, I don't want to say when COVID blows over, but when people can go outside again safely, are you gonna get the tournament but going back up again?
Absolutely. That's
that was
already in
that
the
was the
cards.
thing that was going on right before COVID started, right?
Right before.
And then didn't happen because of COVID.
Yeah.
Man,
Feels
how
bad,
much
dude.
planning? I'm gonna make you feel bad for a second. How much planning went into that?
It was a lot of planning.
I'm sure
It was a lot.
Weeks, months.
Months.
Oh,
It was a lot of planning.
Jeez.
It was a lot of planning.
Man.
We're
Oh,
gonna
I
have
mean-
a money grand prize and everything, man. We're gonna
Really?
have merch
Wow.
for them. Yeah,
Okay.
man. That's one of the big things that I wanted to do for people. Give them an incentive, for playing.
yeah.
Something fun. The community needs it. We don't have anything like that here. You hear about those kind of tournaments in like Miami, California, New York, but Virginia Beach is a good spot to do it too. So I just wanted to turn
Definitely
up.
is.
Not that it translates that well, but in a similar vein of something that was not taken seriously in the U.S. was like gaming tournaments.
Yeah.
And those now have like millions of dollars in payouts at the end of them,
Yeah.
and because of like, it sucks, but like money talks. And whenever you have people out there winning millions of dollars, it's like, okay, now national TV is going to get involved. Now real big name sponsors are going to get involved. And so unfortunately, that's kind of a byproduct of what would have potentially happened with what you were trying to do.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, money's involved. All right.
Yeah.
One of the unfortunate, well, it could be viewed as a positive. What I would hope is that because hopefully the energy is going to be at an all-time high after COVID because everybody wants to go outside and do something, you might have more luck.
Yeah.
It might be a speedier process to create that tournament and get
Yeah.
more people signed up and maybe have a bigger one or have two or whatever it may be.
Yeah, man. Some people look at this as a some people can see it as like a downfall that COVID happened, for your business and the tournament didn't happen. I honestly see it as a blessing, man. We was able to focus on our mission and able to help the kids during this time. So, when people see the other things we have planned, because, some people are like, are you just doing this? I'm like, nah, man, we got tournaments. We're going to have leagues. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff come out. So
that's what I was curious about too.
It's going to be really crazy. So we have a whole bunch of ideas and we're already working with the city already. So as soon as COVID's over.
Can you tell us a little bit about the team that's like helping you? I know we've met a couple from like shoots that we've done with you. We've met a couple of people that you work with that like help you. How did you like meet them? How do they help you?
Yeah, man. A lot of people came to me, man. Like, I would come to the field house and they would be like, yo, you're the guy who's doing the Street United thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And, they're like, yo, I would love to help. They'll come out and help. Like we just have Jordan. We had Jordan Davenport and his fiance come out. They were like, man, I love the way that you're doing things. And, we have a love for kids, man. And they wanted to have a facility of their own. So it's kind of crazy how Street United, the people that come and volunteer, they always had a ambition and dream to have like their own building or facility where their friends and, their peers can have a place to play soccer and be themselves. So it kind of just fits right on in the mission of Street United and how it goes. So that's how our team got together and stuff like that.
That's real cool. Real quick. When you go to the field, you went to the field house and people were just like, you're the Street United guy. You felt cool. You felt cool as hell, didn't you? You felt real cool.
Not cool as hell. I was kind of like, skeptical. Like, what do they think about me? I hope that, they're supporting the cause. That's more of how I am. Like, I hope you're with me with this and not against it.
That frustrates me that has to be your mentality because of the pushback you've gotten, even though from my point of view, there's nothing but a positive outcome. There's nothing but positivity coming out of it.
Yeah, man. I'm just looking to make as many friends as I can, man. I need all the support I can
definitely.
get on this.
And it's just, if you think about it, like, how many, like Jordan obviously had the same vision of having a facility that's accessible. How many other people really do also have like inklings of that vision? And it took you to like just be like, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
And just you can spearhead it, and then you're gonna have support because there are countless of people that want to do something or at least help out for something like that. So I can definitely see that happening.
And piggybacking off of that question you said, man, like, did I feel special? It's kind of like, it's like, no, I feel that it isn't anything, special what I'm doing. Like I said, I feel like, worldwide, they have already been on this already.
Yeah.
What I do want to, do is get people, because I know people have already thought about this. They thought about, man, soccer is really expensive. Man, I just paid for my team thing and it's really expensive. So I know people are thinking about this thing. I just trying to get everybody to be like, I'm going to do something about it. Because a lot of people talk about it, but you need the doers to be able to change things. And that's what I need. A team who is confident in their doers, and then Street United will surely grow.
There's something that Tyler brought up, which we haven't talked about at all, which is the fact that obviously you're familiar with LOWBAT. You've worked with LOWBAT with certain videos, and I was curious about, I actually don't know how you got involved. Like, how was it Ethan? Was it somebody else? How did you get introduced to LOWBAT in general?
Man, I'm not even sure how we got into it.
Really?
I love the fact. I think I noticed that I noticed you guys' Instagram. I think I noticed your guys' Instagram through Ethan, because I played against Ethan at the field house on the team, and I was like, whoa, this is the same guy at the field house. I was like, oh, he has his own production thing. I was like, maybe we can, reach out and, maybe they can help us, because that's another big thing with Street United is using local businesses and local, things, because I feel like, we need to put Virginia Beach on the map bigger than what it is now. A lot of people go outside of Virginia Beach and don't give back. But shout out to Pharrell, though.
That's literally what this podcast is about.
Yep.
It's about growing up this area. We have so many cool people that have cool talents, cool ideas, cool businesses, and we're just like, they need to be able to talk about it. And I feel like that this LOWBAT podcast can be the hub and make that happen. We're all about helping out our community and giving everyone a voice. And I think we all agree that that mindset of Virginia Beach needs someone to give back to it is a very important thing that we've been lacking.
Yeah, we've talked about it on some of the previous podcasts that is like, Ethan and I went to Red Robin, as you do. Yeah. We sat down and we realized we both kind of mentioned a podcast in conversation, and it's something that I wanted to do. I don't really know why. I just did. I just felt like I wanted to talk to people, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've wanted to do it for this," and then I was like, "Why are we talking about it? We have the resources. Let's do it." And then we did, but like behind that, we were like, "Well, why?" And then we kind of thought about the fact that Virginia Beach has so much culture and so much incredible music, art, businesses. Like it's lately, from what we've been doing, it's been mostly like musicians but like people like you or anybody who has a business, pretty much anybody that has a story to tell, somebody that has something interesting is kind of the point. We want people to, like, you could do interviews and that it's going to be like, what was this like? Okay. And it's going to be like 5-10 minutes. But my goal, at least, is to have it be as conversational as possible. We'll talk about the business, the brand, as much as needed, but it's also like a place for people to get to know who you are, and who anybody else is that we bring on. So, I completely agree. I think there's an untapped market in Virginia Beach, just like you do with soccer, and we're just trying to help give people a place to talk, just like you're trying to give people a place to play.
Absolutely, man. And I thank you guys for having me up here, man. This is great.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
man.
like I said, you were one of the first people we wanted to get on. So. and this won't be your first time or your only time on.
Yeah, man.
We absolutely. Whenever stuff starts kicking back up and
we got a big event coming up.
Oh yeah, we got to get you back on so we can talk more.
Word, I'm there.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Tyler, for sitting in with us.
Yes,
also.
thanks, Tyler. Last minute decision.
Real quick, though, can you tell people when your pickup games are?
Oh yeah, please.
Absolutely. We have pickup games every Monday. We start at 7 p.m. and it runs to 9 p.m. You guys can come on out. We got music. Be a good time. Doesn't matter if you play soccer. Doesn't matter if you don't have anything to do. Just come on out, dance, talk with us, and have a good time, man.
We'll link to some of your socials and stuff, and we'll talk after if there's anything else you want, because I want to plug anything. Like, also, besides that, if there's anything else you want to plug before we get off of here, like tell anybody anything that you're working on, anything like that.
Okay, man. Like I say, you guys can find out any information about us. You can follow our Instagram, our Facebook. It's at Street United. It's STR3T United. Follow us, and you guys can see everything that we're doing in our community as far as with the kids. We really need you guys' help, support, following, liking, sharing our videos, and buying some of our merch, man, just to share it. All right, guys.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Darius. It was a pleasure to meet you. I hadn't had a chance to meet you. And for all of the listeners and the viewers, I appreciate you guys hanging out, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.
That's super cool.
Turned out to be a perfect.
So cool.
I looked over at Ethan and he